Welcome to the Sixters Father's Day special episode. My name is Chris Hood, and I am daughter number 3 of the 6 daughters of Dessa and Bevers Evans and William Howard Evans. As I did last year in the Mother's Day video, visiting all the grave sites of the women that was part of my mother's ancestry, I wanted to go back this year and visit all the fathers in her ancestry and honor them. So I'm back to Bardstown, Kentucky. We are here at the St. Joseph Cemetery in Bardstown, Kentucky to honor William Chester Bevers, the father of Dessa and Bevers Evans, my mother of the Sixters. Chester probably had more influence on my mother than any of the men that we will talk about today. So we wanted to start with him. He is my mother's father. So we want to honor William Chester Bevers. It's a Happy Father's Day episode of the Sixters. Also in St. Joseph Cemetery is the gravesite of my mother's grandfather, Chester's father, Thomas Hilary Bevers. We're at the gravesite of Thomas Hilary Bevers. He was the son of William John Bevers and the father of William Chester Bevers. And William Chester Bevers is the father of Dessa and Bevers Evans, my mother, the mother of the Sixters. Thomas Hilary and Rose Ballard Bevers settled right outside of Bardstown. They had a farm not too far from Bardstown. Thomas Hilary and Rose lived in Bardstown the last decade of their life. So this is in honor, on Father's Day, of Thomas Hilary Bevers. Next stop is to St. Gregory's Cemetery, where we will visit the gravesite of Charles Hawk. We're at the gravesite of Charles W Hawk. And Charles was the father of my mother's mother, Edna Alline Hawk Bevers. He died in 1909. She was, I think, 9 years old when he died. Charles Hawk is from a German descent. Next stop was Holy Cross Cemetery, the gravesite of William John Bevers. He was the father of Thomas Hilary Bevers, who was the father of William Chester Bevers, who was the father of Dessa and Bevers Evans, my mother of the Sixters. He left Ireland at 14 years of age and came to America in 1830. There is no record of anyone coming with him, any family members, siblings, parents. I know this about William. This was from his granddaughter's lips. He had red hair, he smoked a pipe, and he played the fiddle. Next stop is St. Thomas Cemetery. James Willis Ballard is buried there. James Willis was the father of Rose Ballard. Rose Ballard was the mother of Chester Bevers. And Chester Bevers is the father of my mother, Dessa and Bevers. I am here at the gravesite of James Willis Ballard. On September 27, 1874, Elizabeth Wathen Ballard, the wife of James Willis Ballard, passed away 11 days after giving birth to her 10th child. James Willis Ballard had the responsibility of raising 10 children between the ages of infancy to 16 years. He never remarried. He raised his children. And when he passed away on June 18, 1892, they had this inscribed on his gravestone. We miss thee, dearest Father. We miss thy earnest care. Our home is dark without you. We miss thee everywhere. I'm very proud to be the great granddaughter of James Willis Ballard. Next stop is the New Hope Cemetery, where my mother's great-grandfather, Hanson Hawk, is buried. This is the gravesite of Hanson T Hawk, the father of Charles W Hawk, who was the father of my grandmother, Edna Alline Hawk Bevers. They were in Illinois for some time because both Charles and his siblings were born in Decatur, Illinois. They were hard-working German immigrants. Now Hanson is buried in the New Salem Baptist Church Cemetery. There's a very interesting story about Hanson T Hawk. All of my mother's side of the family were Catholic. But here we find Hanson T Hawk buried in the New Salem Baptist Church Cemetery. He was a carpenter, and this only picture that we have of him is him. He is got a big old axe in his hand. He's cutting down trees because he's a carpenter. He looks a lot, or I shouldn't say that, I should say my Uncle Billy looks a lot like him. Can you see that? That's awesome. Hanson T Hawk, happy Father's Day. Now back to St. Gregory's Cemetery to visit the gravesite of James Stansberry. James was the father of Anna Lee Stansberry House. I know these folks had an impact on how Anna Lee was raised, and I know that my uncle tells wonderful stories about after church going to the farm and the food that they made was so good. It was just a wonderful time. He has a lot of good memories, and I'm sure my mother did too. So we honor James B Stansberry today on Father's Day. Back at Holy Cross Cemetery is the gravesite of Richard Willis Ballard. He is my mother's great-great-grandfather. So we are so thankful that this man came to Kentucky and settled and had his family here with Tracy and Allie Ballard. He was the father of James Willis Ballard. James was the father of Rose Ballard, and Rose was the mother of Chester Bevers, and Chester Bevers was the father of my mother. I'm here at William Proctor Ballard's gravesite. We're in the Pioneer Cemetery in Bardstown, Kentucky. He is my great-great-great-great-grandfather. He pioneered this area and was one of the first landowners in Bardstown, and I appreciate so much the great sacrifice. This man made a great sacrifice to come to Bardstown. He was part of the surveying group with Bland Ballard, his uncle, and Squire Boone in surveying the area in Kentucky, especially around Boonesboro. I'm very proud to honor William Proctor Ballard, my great-great-great-great-grandfather, on Father's Day. Proctor Ballard was the father of Richard Willis Ballard, and Richard was the father of James Willis Ballard, and James was the father of Rose Ballard Bevers, and Rose was the mother of Chester Bevers, and Chester Bevers was the father of Dessa Ann Devers Evans, my mother. This is a drawing of William Proctor Ballard, the great-great-great-great-grandfather of the Sixters. Here we are at the Pioneer Cemetery at the gravesite of Proctor Ballard, the great-great-great-great-grandfather of the Sixters. Well, it has been a long day and I am exhausted. I hope you've enjoyed traveling with me all over Bardstown, Kentucky, as I shared with you the important men in my mother's ancestry. I hope that you have a great Father's Day with the special men in your life. Happy Father's Day, everybody.